don't leave me! Please wait for me! Mary screamed, running towards the plane with all her strength. The ground trembled as the giant plane thundered forward. With each second, it rose higher, leaving Mary behind. She slumped to the ground, panting as she wept bitterly.
Mary Thompson, Marketing Associate.
No, Mary Thompson, Marketing Associate. Mary had practiced them in front of the cracked mirror in her tiny room that morning. It was her first day at one of the top oil companies in Nigeria, and she wanted everything to be perfect. Mary was a sweet soul, free as a bird and open-minded. Her journey to this moment had been anything but easy. For years, she struggled through countless rejections. She had sent applications that never got responses and sat in waiting rooms where her name was never called. But through it all, her mother, a widow who sold foodstuff at the local market, never stopped praying. Together they clung to hope, whispering to each other that one day God would remember them. And finally he did. Out of hundreds of applicants, Mary had emerged among the top 3 graduates chosen for the appointment at the prestigious oil company. For the Thompson, who had known only hardship, this was more than a job, it was a miracle. As she glanced at the mirror one last time, Mary whispered to herself, "This is the beginning of everything." Mary's first day at the company was nothing short of exhausting. From the moment she walked through the glass doors, she was bombarded with introductions. By mid-afternoon, her head pounded. She stepped out towards the canteen to buy a snack. But when she turned to head back, she froze. Every corner looked the same. Every hallway stretched endlessly, with no landmark to guide her. "Not again," Mary muttered under her breath, confused. "You are lost, right?" The voice startled her. She spun around and saw a slim, dark-skinned, beautiful young lady with neatly styled braid and a warm smile. Mary exhaled, laughing nervously. "You got that right." "It happens to everyone. Don't worry. You are not the first and definitely won't be the last." Her name was Helen. She had been working at the company for 3 years. As they walked side by side, Helen pointed out shortcuts and little tricks to remember the endless corridors. Mary listened, nodding eagerly, grateful for the kindness. And that was how their friendship began. Within weeks, Mary and Helen became inseparable. Mary's heart was wide open. She spoke freely, sharing her dreams, her struggles, her plans of going abroad, and her joy as if she had found a sister she never had. "So engaged already?" Helen asked. "Oh, this." Mary twisted the ring around her finger. "Yeah. Daniel proposed last month. We are waiting until I'm settled in my career before we set a date." "Oh, how responsible," Helen said, but something in her voice had shifted. "I've always wanted to work in London," Mary said. "I know it sounds silly, but that would be a prayer answered." Helen's smile never wavered, but her grip tightened on her coffee cup. "Well, aren't you the dreamer?" Days later, Mary threw herself into work with the enthusiasm that had gotten her hired in the first place. She stayed late, came in early, and genuinely cared about every project. Her fresh ideas in their weekly brainstorming session caught the attention of Mr. Richard, their department head. "Excellent work on the Peterson campaign, Mary," he announced during their Monday meeting. "I'm impressed by your innovative approach." Mary beamed, completely missing the way Helen's jaw tightened beside her. "Actually," Helen interrupted, "that strategy we discussed over coffee really paid off, didn't it, Mary? I'm so glad my experience with similar clients could help guide the direction." Mary blinked, confused. They had discussed the Peterson account over coffee, but the innovative approach had been entirely her own idea. She opened her mouth to clarify, then stopped. Helen had been so helpful since she started. Of course, Mary said quietly, team efforts. Mr. Richard nodded at both of them, but Mary noticed his attention had shifted to Helen. This pattern repeated over the following weeks. Mary would present an idea, and somehow Helen would find a way to share the credit or subtly redirect the conversation to her own contributions. I hope you don't think I'm trying to steal your shine, Helen said one evening as they walked home together. I just get excited about collaborative work. Maybe I should be more careful about how I phrase things in meetings. No, it's fine, Mary assured her. But it wasn't fine. Mary's reputation in the office began to shift. Colleagues who had initially been impressed by her work started treating her as Helen's junior partner. Important emails somehow got accidentally deleted before Mary could even see them. Documents went missing from her desk, only to reappear after crucial deadlines had passed. My sister, Mary seems disorganized lately. She overheard a co-worker tell someone. Helen mentioned she had been struggling to keep up with the workload. I also heard she's overly ambitious. Another voice chimed in, like she's only been here 2 months and she's already talking about international opportunities. Kind of presumptuous, don't you think? Mary's cheek burned. She had mentioned her London dreams to Helen in confidence, during what she thought was a heart-to-heart conversation between friends. Still, Mary couldn't read the handwriting on the wall. Despite the growing tension at work, Mary's personal life felt solid. Daniel had been her anchor, and their relationship had only grown stronger since the engagement. He worked as a mechanic at his family's shop. "How was work today, babe?" he asked one evening as they shared pizza in his apartment. The place was small but comfortable, filled with the scent of motor oil that had somehow become comforting to Mary. "Better," she said. "I think I'm finally finding my footing. Oh, and I want you to meet Helen properly. She's been nothing but amazing." Daniel raised an eyebrow. "The one who keeps getting credits for your ideas?" "It's not like that," Mary protested. "She's just experienced. She knows how to present things to management." "Okay, if you say so." Daniel didn't look convinced, but he squeezed her hand. "Just don't let anyone dim your light, okay? You are incredible at what you do." Days later, Mary organized a small get-together at a trending bar. She was excited to introduce Helen to Daniel, to show her the man who supported her dreams so completely. "Babe, this is Helen," Mary said proudly. "Helen, meet my fiancé." Helen's smile was radiant as she shook Daniel's hand. "Oh, I've heard so much about you. Mary talks about you constantly. You must be so proud of her success." "I am," Daniel said simply, wrapping his arms around Mary's waist. "It must be hard though," Helen continued, her voice dripping with sympathy. "Dating someone so ambitious. I mean, Mary is always talking about her big plans, her international dreams. We are very understanding, Something flickered in Daniel's expression, but Mary was too busy shining her teeth to notice. As the evening progressed, Helen positioned herself as the center of attention, regaling everyone with stories that somehow always highlighted her own accomplishments. When Mary tried to join the conversation, Helen would interrupt with a knowing laugh. On their way home, Daniel was quiet. "Did you have fun?" Mary asked, reaching across to take his hands. "Sure," he said. He didn't squeeze back. "Helen seems corny. She's just confident. I admire that about her. She made you sound like you're planning to abandon everyone who cares about you for some fantasy career abroad." "But they are not fantasies, Daniel. They are goals, and I will never abandon you. Wouldn't you?" The question hung between them like a challenge. 3 weeks later, Mary was reorganizing her desk when her phone rang. The number was international, and her heart skipped. Mrs. Thompson, this is Professor Williams from the London School of Economics. I'm calling about your application to our International Marketing Excellence Program. Mary's hand flew to her mouth. She had submitted her application 6 months ago and had given up hope of hearing back. We are extremely impressed with your portfolio and recommendations. We would like to offer you a place in our program with a full scholarship and a guaranteed internship placement with our partner firms. The world seemed to spin around Mary. This was it. This was the opportunity she had dreamed about since college. However, Professor Williams continued, due to a last-minute cancellation, we need you to begin immediately. The program starts this Monday. I know it's a short notice, but would you be able to travel this weekend? Yes, absolutely. After she hung up, Mary sat in stunned silence for several minutes. Then the reality hit her, and she couldn't contain her excitement. Helen, she called across the office. You will never guess what just happened. Helen looked up from her computer. I got into the London program. They want me to start Monday. Can you believe it? The color drained from Helen's face, but she quickly rearranged her features into a smile. Whoa, that's amazing, Mary. Congratulations. But Mary was too excited to notice the tightness around Helen's eyes. She spent the rest of the day calling everyone she knew, sharing her incredible news. Even Mr. Richard seemed genuinely impressed. We will miss you, Mary, he said, shaking her hand. This is exactly the kind of opportunity our best people deserve. Only Daniel seemed less than thrilled. London? He repeated when she told him over dinner. This Monday? Mary, that's 4 days away. I know it's sudden, but babe, this is everything I've worked for. The program is only 6 months, and then I will have connections all over Europe. Think about what this could mean for our future. What about our future here? What about the life we are building? This is part of building our life, Mary insisted. I'll be back before you know it, and I will have so many more opportunities. Maybe I could even help you expand the shop. Or we could... I don't want to expand the shop, Mary. I like my life the way it is. I thought you liked it too. The conversation ended with Daniel going home early and Mary feeling torn between excitement and guilt. Friday afternoon, the office threw Mary an impromptu farewell party. There were balloons and champagnes. Mary felt overwhelmed by the outpouring of support from her colleagues. Mary stood up holding her glass of champagne and looked around at the faces surrounding her. Even Helen was there, smiling and applauding. I just want to say thank you, Mary began. When I started here 3 months ago, I never imagined I would find such amazing colleagues and friends, especially you, Helen. You've been like a sister to me. Helen's smile faltered for just a moment, but she quickly recovered and raised her glass higher. This opportunity feels like a dream, but having your support makes it real. I promise I will represent well in London. The applause was genuine and warm. Mary felt like she was floating as people came to hug her and wish her well. Even colleagues who had seemed distant lately were suddenly friendly and encouraging. Daniel arrived just as the party was winding down. Mary introduced him to more of her co-workers, hoping to bridge the gap between her two worlds. But she noticed how quiet he was, how his smile never quite reached his eyes when people congratulated them both on Mary's opportunity. This calls for a real celebration, Helen announced. Why don't we all go to Murphy's Pub? Send Mary off properly. Murphy's was a popular spot near the office, known for its strong drinks and lively atmosphere. Mary felt like she was in a movie as her colleagues surrounded her. She was touched by how much they seemed to care about her success. To Mary, Helen raised her glass. May London be everything you've dreamed of. To Mary, the group chorused, and Mary felt tears prick her eyes. Even Daniel seemed to be warming up to the celebration, chatting with some of her male colleagues about sports. Mary stepped out just for a few minutes to clear her head. The cool night air felt good. She leaned against the brick wall and closed her eyes, trying to process everything that had happened. In less than 48 hours, she would be on a plane to London. It still didn't feel real. Oh, there you are. She opened her eyes to see Helen approaching with a fresh drink. Thought you might be thirsty. Thanks, but I think I've had enough, Mary said with a laugh. I need to be functional tomorrow for packing. Oh, come on. It's just a farewell party. Leave a little. Helen pressed the glass into Mary's hand. Besides, it's just a wine. Very light. Mary accepted the drink, touched by Helen's thoughtfulness. This is delicious. What's in it? Trade secret, Helen winked. Just something I asked the bartender to mix up special for you. They stood together in comfortable silence for a few minutes. Helen, I want you to know how much your friendship has meant to me. Starting a new job is scary, but you made it so much easier. I'm going to miss you so much. I promise I will email constantly, and maybe you can come visit me in London. Maybe, Helen said softly. Mary finished the drink and immediately felt a wave of dizziness wash over her. Whoa, that hit me harder than I expected. Maybe we should get you home, Helen suggested, steadying Mary as she swayed slightly. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I still have so much to do tomorrow. They went back inside to collect Daniel and said their goodbyes. Mary hugged everyone, but as they walked to Daniel's car, she felt increasingly unsteady. I don't feel right, she mumbled to Daniel as he helped her into the passenger seat. I think I'm getting sick. You did drink a lot tonight, Daniel said. Let's just get you home. The 20 minutes drive felt like hours. Mary's head rolled against the window and waves of nausea washed over her. By the time they reached her apartment, she could barely walk. Something is wrong, she kept saying as Daniel helped her up the stairs. This isn't just alcohol. Something is really wrong. Daniel got her to bed and brought her water, but Mary couldn't keep anything down. She spent the night alternating between violent nausea and period of disorientation where she couldn't remember where she was or what was happening. Don't worry, you'll feel better. Try to sleep. But Mary didn't feel better. As Saturday dragged on, she drifted in and out of consciousness. Her body racked with chills and fever. Daniel stayed with her, bringing her water and holding her hair back when she was sick. But he seemed strangely calm about her condition. My flight, she whispered late Saturday night. I have to pack. I have to go. She walked barefoot down the apartment stairs, clutching the rail, wearing her nightie. The taxi driver looked at her in the mirror. Concern etched into his forehead. Airport? International terminal, she said, then swallowed back the taste of metal. By the time she got there, it was too late. She ran and cried, but she missed her flight, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. 2 weeks after the airport disaster, Mary was still struggling to sleep. Who was it? Who did this to me? She kept whispering to herself. Detectives knocked on her door one morning. They had reviewed the bar tapes, interviewed staff, and traced the bartender's testimony. Helen had been the one who requested the special wine, but Daniel's fingerprints were also found on the glass. Clear evidence that he had handled it before Mary drank. Both were brought in. At the station, Helen sat straight-backed, eyes sharp. You think I regret it? She said coldly. Mary got everything handed to her in months. Recognition, love, London. I worked for years. Yes! And still they chose her. Why shouldn't I stop her? No tears, no guilt, just jealousy turned into poison. When it was Daniel's turn, his voice cracked. I didn't want her to go, he admitted. Helen told me Mary was planning to leave me behind. She said London would change her, that she would never come back. I just wanted her to stay. His excuse was weak, but it was enough to expose the truth. He had allowed himself to be Helen's pawn. His insecurity was a second knife in Mary's back. Finally, it was revealed that it was Helen and Daniel that teamed up together to bring Mary down to her knees. Mary sat quietly as the officers explained what they had found. The betrayal stung deeper than the lost opportunity. Her best friend and her fiancé, the two people she trusted most, had worked together to destroy her dream. The London program had already filled her spot. Another name was on the list now. There was no second chance. Mary wept, not for the flight she missed, but for the blindness she had lived in, for sharing her plans so openly, for believing every smile was safe. Never again, she whispered, I will protect my seed. I will only announce the fruits. Helen was fired for conspiracy and poisoning. Daniel was exposed, humiliated and abandoned. Mary was left heartbroken but wiser. She didn't get another London, not yet, but she gained something greater, the strength to rebuild with caution and the wisdom to guide her dreams until they bloomed. Thank you so much for watching. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please do. Like and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss out on any of our amazing stories. Bye.